I got a job to come and replace this gatepost. It was cracked, weathered, full of nails, but instead of seeing it go in the skip, I really wanted to make something useful out of it. Took it back to the workshop and began to remove the catch. It had flathead screws which were a pain to get out, but eventually we did it. There was also a bit of fencing hanging on, so I had to remove that along with the ivy. This would have been a lot easier with a crowbar, but I left that at work. So instead I've bent one of my chisels. Not ideal. I gave it a quick hoover just so I could check if there were any more nails, because I really didn't want to mess my blade up on the bandsaw. As you can see, I ain't got much space, so I've got my bandsaw on a mobile base. This is the moment of truth where I found out if there's anything worth using. This is definitely the worst side, so I had to cut off a little bit more than I'd like, but thankfully it did reveal some good timber inside. I did another rip, and this is the piece what I'm going to be using. I took it outside and I cut off any of the remaining bad bits. I had a few ideas what I could make, but in the end I settled on something simple, a couple of nice picture frames. I cut them down to a rough size and then started planing them up. I put a straight cutter in the router and set my fence up. At first I tried to do it all in one go, but the wood was definitely too dense for that, so I had to do it in a couple of passes. This formed the rebate for the pictures to sit in. I flipped it over and put a chamfer down each side. You can see in the bottom left of your screen a picture of what it looks like from the end. I gave it a quick sand. It's much easier to do in a long piece than it is when it's together, especially the inside. I put one mitre on each piece and left them slightly oversized. That way I can set a stop block up and I know that when I cut the other angle it's going to be perfect every time. If I were making this for a customer, I'd like to use some kind of joint on the corners, like a domino for instance, but since it's just for me, I'm sure a bit of PVA will be fine. I clamped the frames up and then left them overnight. The next day, I took the clamps off and gave both frames a quick sand. I made sure to give them a good brush off after, because I'll be applying the finish very soon. I chose to use some Osmo clear satin finish. This really brought the grain out in the wood and it looks a lot better. If you look at this video, the one on the right is before and the one on the left is after. When it comes to cutting the glass, I find it best to do it on a small cloth. This stops it from sliding about and it also reduces the chance of any scratches. For the backing, I just used some 2mm ply and then secured the pictures in place with some pins that I had lying around. Again, I do really need to get some proper picture fixings if I was selling these, but for me, I don't really mind. This is what's left over, so if you have any ideas of what I can make out of it, please let me know. Thanks for watching.